What's going on? This your boy coming back at you, and I know I said I was gonna quit, but a lot of people been saying that I shouldn't. A lot of people I know that know I'm trying to say that I'm not supposed to, um, that I shouldn't quit, and all that. So I'm gonna give it a minute to see what happens. But for right now, we're gonna get into this watch right here, man. What y'all looking at is the Invicta S1 Rally, uh, and as the name implies, it is a race watch. Um, So with it being a race watch, it is some features with it that is pretty um, unique. This one more so than a lot of the other rallies I've seen. This is the only rally I personally own, but I've seen other rallies that are pretty cool looking. They have some that are more vintage looking, and ones that are more um, on your flashy kind of style. Um, and more some that are more like this one that's kind of a subtle look, but kind of draws attention because this is a large watch. It may not look that large looking at it here, but it is a large watch. um, I call this the collection because it comes with the four bands, and it comes with this big dive case, man, and it's an 8 slot dive case. We're gonna open this up for you so y'all can get a look at what's in it. I got a couple of pieces in there already. One of my divers here. I think I did a video on this one. Uh, y'all seen the video on my Noma and my little lab made smartwatch. Still come on. Yeah, still come on. The battery ain't died in there yet. I'm surprised. I got my girlfriend one, and she said the battery in hers died. So, have to find a place to get her a battery. But anyway, uh, just off bat, I'm gonna do a little size comparison, just real quick, just a little rugged raw size comparison, not even on the wrist size comparison, just so y'all can kind of get a idea of just how big of a watch we looking at here. You, I just really wanna give y'all that look so that y'all can see just how big of a watch this is compared to it's not gonna sit up, but just holding it next to it, trying to hold it right down center right there. You can just see how much that dwarfs this watch. This watch is this is about a it's about a 38. It's a 38 millimeter pro diver. Gonna set that right there for a little bit. Still love that watch because of that bluish purple face it has. This is my mid-size Venom. This will sit up because the band's thick enough and hard enough that it'll sit up. But I still gotta kind of tip it just to get that comparison. This is about a 45, 46 millimeter. If you go all the way out to the crown and pushers, it's about 46. If you just count the radius of the bezel itself, it's 45. You can see it's just massive. I would have compared it to my boat, but I have to get the boat Zeus sent in to have it serviced, as well as the other watch I had, which is a boat quartz. I actually returned it. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just more so that uh, I got it, and first of all, I bought it from TJ Maxx, and I paid about $155 for that watch. Um, I found it somewhere else, and it was like 120. And I just kind of felt like I was ripped off. But after going to look back and see if I was going to get something else, I ran into this beauty here and ended up saying I was going to put that $150 something down to pay half of this off. Um, I was looking at this for a while, man. When I first seen it, it wasn't even the automatic when I saw it. When I first saw this, it was the quartz one, and that one was like five something, and I there was no way I could afford it. Um, this one I just seen, and it was on sale. It was going on sale. The original price for this one is like three something. I I'm stretch paying it. It's like 250 something. So I'm gonna put down $50 towards it, and try and take it all the way down to where, uh, I'm not paying off that much. It also came with screwdrivers to change. Well, it came with this screwdriver to change the band, but this screwdriver is actually too big for the screws. You can use it, but it slips off more than it stay on because it's too big. Well, it's not that it's too big. It because it has the hole. It doesn't hold in that well. Yeah, and these are half loose because I wanted to see if I could change it on camera. Um, I'm gonna try and take it off on camera. Try and get these screws out because this is really how you change the band. Um, yeah. So we're gonna try and see if I can get them out and just show you what we're looking at as far as uh, by itself, because by itself the case itself is, you're looking at about 51 millimeters without the bands attached, and it's 56 with them attached. So I said the only other watch I probably could have compared this to would be my Bolt Zeus, and that's because my Bolt Zeus is around was it like 50, it's about 50, 51 millimeters. I don't have a full-size Venom, or I could have compared it to a full-size Venom, but I don't have a full-size Venom, I just have the mid-size. And there you have it. It's very simply done, as you can, I don't know why I was looking. Try, I want to show y'all the band, well, the bracelet, real quick. I'm going to close it first and show that to you. Now, this is not steel. This is titanium. This is an actual titanium band. So this is the actual titanium band. The case is steel, and just looking at the case by itself, we're gonna take a look. Just looking at the case by itself. Look at that. Look at it. Still dwarfs this thing. Just dwarfs it. It just completely dwarfs this little diver. Um, it really it almost dwarfs this too, to be quite honest. But not quite as bad now because it doesn't have the bands on it. Because this is, like I said, this is about 48. This is about 45 or 46. I was going to say 48. It's about 45 or 46. Um, so it doesn't look as bad now with the case, with just the case by itself. And it's some big numbers, man. Well, not big numbers, but big, hour markers. Because the loom dots are the hour markers. You can really see that pretty good. What color band am I gonna put on it? For the sake of it being a race watch video, I think the blue or the black. I think just for the purpose of the video, I'm gonna just do the black, just for the purpose of the video. Bear with me here. It's not as easy trying to. It's easy, but it's not as easy trying to do this on camera. If I had some help, I could. Well, no, wait. I think I've. Well, I've got it. Uh, it's about. We're not gonna. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's more difficult than it is. It's just that doing this, doing it. I'm gonna try to see what I'm doing with this. Gotta screw it in. I'm only gonna screw it in one side on each one, just so that you can get a quick look into, you know, what it looked like with the straps. Personally, I think the bracelet looks a little bit better. The straps don't make it look ugly, but the straps just takes away a little bit of that. What what I like to call the Audemars. The it looks kind of like a Patek with the bands on. Kind of looks like a Patek, but this is really looks like with the strap on. With the strap on it, it looks. I accidentally hit the light. My bad. My bad. I'm trying to get a tripod. Uh, but until I get a tripod, just bear with me. And that's about what you're looking at on the wrist. And another thing that I want to point out here is that you see how that's moving compared to bring that in compared to how that is ticking past like that, and how this is ticking, and then look how this is ticking. This one's moving faster, and that's because this one moves in a different increments settings. Well, I don't. Well, not settings, but I forgot exactly what they call it. But it moves in different increments compared to how they move on an average watch. And that's because that's due to the racer theme, fast, um, and in races they usually count time different than how we count times, with laps and stuff like that. So it makes perfect sense that this thing moves different. Another thing is that it's an automatic. Bring it a little closer. And for all those who don't like Invicta and say that they don't use good movements, trying to get the camera to focus. That's an NH35. That's in it. To be more specific, NH35A SI. That's a Seiko movement. That's the same movement that they use in Seiko watches. So for people that like Seiko, this has a Seiko movement. Not all Invictus use Seiko movements, but um, a good I'm not gonna use a good percentage, but there are a lot of them that do. I just never really pay attention to if it's a Seiko movement or not. You know, I like Invicta. I like the quality. They do have some good quality. The only issue I've ever had with Invicta was when I first ordered. I've ordered a Venom. Uh, I got it off Evine, which is where I order all my watches from, except for the two divers I have. I got those from Burlington. And I'm not even gonna say this was an issue with Invicta. I, my mom and my cousin both said that it could have been the watch could have got damaged in shipping, because what was wrong with it was somehow it wouldn't the date would change every 2 hours. The date would change. So while all my other watches were saying okay, today's the 11th, that watch would have said the 13th or 14th, because the date would change every hour for whatever reason. um it wasn't keeping time for whatever reason. I would have to reset the watch every 35 or 40 minutes. um and I don't think that was an issue with Invicta. I think that, like they said, I think the watch was damaged in shipping. But I shipped it back and I ordered another one. And since then, I haven't had any issue with an Invicta watch besides my bolt needs a pin put into the bracelet. The pin, gave out. But, that can happen with any watch. And it wasn't even that. It just gave out. I kind of lost the pin. I probably could have fixed it or had took it somewhere to get the pin fixed, but the pin fell and I don't know where it is. It probably rolled under my shelf, and I'm not finna move the shelf to just to get this pin. I have it's under warranty, so it's gonna get fixed. I just have to ship it to them and have them take a look at it. Um, that's all today. You know, I'm trying to do longer videos too, because some people saying that maybe it you know it's due to my video being too short. Might be why people it's not that big of a deal, because I'm not making very long videos. I'm making like not really making long videos. My videos are kind of short compared to some videos. Um, so I'm trying to do some other things for y'all, just so y'all don't be looking at the 30-minute videos and stuff like that. I'm gonna try and keep them with some length to them, so that y'all have a lot to look at. But so you know, what really got me into Invicta was a guy in my class, cool guy. My buddy told me, uh, we was talking. He brought up the fact that he said he wanted an Invicta, and at the time, I didn't know I didn't know, you know, what Invicta was. You know, that's my boy. He got his own channel. Tune in now. Go check him out. I'm trying to put it in the description. I might try to put it in the description, or we gonna work something out. Me and him might try to work something out. Come bring y'all something. But anyway, back to the story. He told me he wanted one, and I asked him. I had never heard of Invicta. I didn't know what Invicta was. He said, look it up. These are some pretty expensive watches, but you can find them at different places. So I immediately go home, and the only other person I know that knows about watches is my cousin. That's like my big bro. And I asked him, have you ever heard of this brand? And he said, of course. It's a good watch for an average man. Well, yeah. So he looks up a couple of the models, and one of them happens to be a different variant of the same model that he had my boy had showed me in class. And I had to look at it like, wow, it was a big burly watch, and I was just like, I kind of like big watches, burly watches, just they just look good, some of them are gaudy, but some of them just look good when they are executed perfectly. Then I stumbled upon the Venom, and that became my favorite model of Invicta, and it still is. Just looking at how rugged this thing is, man. It's not even about this, but just for a minute, just look at how rugged this is. And this is a mid-size. This is not even a full size, man. It's a bit scratched up, man. For a while, this is my everyday wear watch, man. It still is. I love to wear my Venom. I try to wear it as much as possible. I still love this watch to this day. If I had to pick a second, my second is gonna be the Bolt Zeus, which is mostly everyone's favorites. My third is probably, I have to say, is an Octane. I don't own it yet, but I plan to get one. But anyway, I'm rambling. This is the blue strap. Got that blue strap right there. I'm gonna try and show y'all all the straps on here. That red and that white. so that y'all can get a real look at what this watch is. And right now, I'm really loving that blue. That blue looking good on it makes it really pop with that racer theme. If you wanted to, you could mix and match the brace, the bands and stuff. I guess I said the brace, the bands. If you really wanted to, and go for something like this here, giving it a real race color, raceway theme color looking. I said, yeah, real. It, blue, half red really do look like something you would see on the actual raceway. If you was to go to a rally, you probably would see a car out there that was blue and red, or just all red, or whatever. But these are some pretty some raceway colors that you usually see. Only thing that would made it better is if they'd included more straps with more colors, maybe yellow and some greens. But that'd have been pushing it. The more they add, the more that price would have had to stay consistent. If they'd have added some green and yellow straps, the likelihood of it being the price dropping down to that 200 and something would have been minuscule, due to the fact that they so much that they done added to it that they can't drop that price no further. So I'm gonna be grateful for what I got, but in the future, if Invicta stumble upon this, uh, come out with another one, come out with another collection like this, maybe a white face next time, or something, you know, mm, you know, with some more crazy raceway colors. Maybe one with an iridescent case. The bracelet ain't got to be iridescent, but the case could be iridescent. You know, making it look crazy. Just to just to give it more flavor, man. Sometimes the crazier something looks, the more some people are drawn to it. And I like iridescence. I have an iridescent knife, as y'all know, as well as the iridescent fidget spinner. I was gonna get the iridescent arsenal, but by the time I got ready to get to order it, I keep saying I don't know why I keep saying but anyway, by the time I got around to ordering it, it was sold out. Uh, and I keep saying bear with me, man, bear with me, bear with me. I ain't even had no breakfast. Bear with me. Uh, by the time I get around to ordering it, they it was gone, and I was just like, dang, because I really did want to get that Arsenal, man. Like, I like the way Arsenals look because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Arsenals just have such a look to it, man. That that it has such a look to it that makes it just, I don't know, just makes it stand out, man. It just makes it really stand out as uh, uh being what it is. You know, Arsenal, it's got an octagon shape, and you really don't get watches with octagon shapes like that. Uh, Audemars kind of got that octagonal kind of. It's octagonal. I don't even know if that's a real word, but it's gonna be today. It's got that little octagonal shape to it, uh, which gives it its real a very unique look to it. Gives it a real unique look to it. So you know you can't go wrong with it. I'm a fan. I do like Audemars. Can't afford one right now, but I do like Audemars. I'm not a Rolex fan. many people might know. Despite me having the invicta, it looks like a Submariner. If you look at it, it actually does look like a Submariner all the way around. But I'm not a big Rolex fan. I I like their story. They got a good history behind it. But personally, for me, I would rather, even I don't care how rich I am, I probably would still wear Invictus. I have a couple of Audemars. I def I like Protect. I, I, I like it. But Invicta is its own thing, and people need to respect it for what it is, and stop trying to put it out there and make it seem like it's bad because it's not this brand or that brand, or it's got this issue and this company don't got it. Do y'all honestly believe that every Rolex that come off the line is perfect? These are handmade. Anything that man operate is bound to have some issues. So you can spend hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on a watch, and it's still a possibility that it's gonna have its issues. A watch is a watch. It's made by man. It's gonna have issues no matter what company you deal with. Some might have more issues than others, you know. But the thing is that a lot of people that own Rolex are snobs about it. And YouTube has really shown me that, because I look up and, I do my research. And not only that, I look around to see, you know, how many other people got these models and how many other people have enjoyed certain Invicta models. And when I look around, all I see is people with such negativity about the watch, always trying to talk about how it's not as good as this brand and that brand and all this other stuff. Uh, it's not that brand. It's its own brand. You gotta respect it for what it is and not for what it's not. Uh, people that usually people that diss Rolex. Let me not diss Rolex. I say Rolex. That diss Invicta are usually people that own Rolexes and stuff. People that own all these big name watches. And those that are dissing and don't own these watches, y'all shouldn't say anything. Y'all shouldn't even be mentioning it because you don't have one. What's the point of you bragging and hopping on the bandwagon for something that you don't own? That's like me saying, "Oh my God, Audemars is the best watch in the world." I don't own one, so me sitting up and crapping on something else, and I don't even have, what's supposed to be better than it. I don't even have it, so it makes no sense for me to hop on the bandwagon of bashing another company for it. You know, it don't make sense. It makes no sense. Y'all just jumping on a bandwagon. Y'all don't know nothing. And most people that do talk about Rolexes, they always say, "Oh, it originated in Switzerland." No, it didn't. Rolex started in Britain. It moved to Switzerland. So it's like y'all buying stuff and y'all don't know where the stuff coming from. Talking about it, it's a Swiss originated watch. I don't know why I studied that with it, but they were saying it's a Swiss originated watch, and it's not. It's a Britain originated watch. It was important parts from Switzerland to Britain, but when the taxes started to get too high, they moved the business to Switzerland, which is where it is now. Whereas Invicta started in Switzerland. It's been out there. It's been out since the 80s. Like, it's been out since the 1980s. So it's older than Rolex. It's older than Audemars. It's older than a lot of them watch companies. It's been out for a while. It was bought by an American company, which ain't bad. That's pretty good. To be honest, it's pretty good. Uh, They bashing on the watch and stuff, and they don't even have nothing better than it. Really, to say anything better. Now, if you own a Rolex, okay, that's cool, but don't crap on other watches, companies and stuff, because it's not this and that or the other. And then not only that, most of these people are not even are not watch collectors. They are brand collectors. These, if you only have one model of a certain thing, then you're not a collector. You just a brand collector. Use a brand collector. Uh, like people, for instance, people that a lot of guys on YouTube say they knife collectors, but they only own Benchmade models in Spider Codes. You're not a knife collector. You're a Benchmade collector because you have every Benchmade out there. You have every Spider Co out there. You're not a knife collector because you don't really have a wide range of knives. You might buy another knife, but then at the end of the day, you end up crapping on it because you comparing everything to one thing and saying it's not good because it can't do what this does. If you look at everything in that way, you're gonna find fault no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It could be the best thing in the world, but if you comparing it to something that it don't do, just like, okay, I'm gonna take this watch for instance. It's a good watch, but I have a G Shock, for instance. I have a G Shock. My G Shock is water resistant. It's water resistant. Uh, it can go pretty good. It can probably go about maybe 300 feet, which is usually about all you need for an average person on a daily basis. This one can go 660 feet. That's dive level quality right there. If I was just held up on the fact it that the G Shock don't go as far because the one I have is just a regular model. It's not the you know ones that I built for you to go down into depths and all them depths, crazy depths and stuff like that. Um, uh, that's the fault, and in the back of my mind, I'm not gonna let that go, and that's what happens to people. Some people they get so caught up on a watch that has something in it that a lot of other watches don't put in them. That when they find another watch that don't have it, they crap on it because of one minor thing. And I know a lot of people who say Invicta's Tret Night and stuff in there is really poor, and it is. I'm not gonna even lie. It is. The night glow on Invictas are not that good. Like some of them are. Some of them are. Like my diver, my pro diver, um, night glow is incredible. It once it's charged, it lasts for like a good. I would say like almost a good 2 days. It would last. Whereas the bigger ones um, last for a couple of hours on a full charge. A couple of hours, maybe an hour on a full charge. hmm Uh, so, you know, that's not a big issue because how often are you going to be in a low light situation that you need to check the time? People are like, well, I fall asleep in. I've seen people say they fall asleep in their watch, and they need it for that particular problem, that particular issue. Uh, that's not that's not bad, but at the same time, if you really are so concerned about waking up in the middle of the night and needing to check your time, get an alarm clock and put it on your nightstand. Check your phone. If you're really that much of a freak about knowing what time it is when you wake up, I don't even check the time most of the time when I'm waking up. Uh, most of the time when I'm waking up, I'm going to use the bathroom and I'm going back to bed. I don't care what time it is, unless I happen to check my phone. Cause sometimes when I wake up, I do check my phone and I might see the time and say, oh well, it's 30 minutes before I actually need to get up. So, I'm not. I'll lay down, but I'll go lay back down. But even though I know the alarm's gonna go back down, gonna go off in a couple minutes, but a good percentage of people still try to snatch that extra 30 minutes before they get up. So I would, you know, but I've done enough rambling. I've done enough rambling, but you know, I'm just letting y'all know it's a good watch. People be bragging on it. You be some people brag on it, and I wouldn't brag on it. I don't care if I had Audemars. I did have Audemars. I'm not gonna brag on it because I'm pretty sure even Audemars have stuff in it that's crappy. You know, nothing's perfect. There's fault with everything, and people who own these big, luxury watches and stuff like that, generally, they're not gonna tell you if they've got a defective model. If they've gotten a defective model, they're not gonna come to you and say, "Oh man, my Rolex ain't working like it's supposed to. It's not gliding. It's ticking. It's not supposed to tick. Why is it's rattling or whatever the case is." It's not. They're not gonna tell you. They're not going to tell you that there's an issue with their watch because they've boasted and bragged and pumped it up so much that it's part of their ego. They can pump their ego up full of this crap. So now they not finna tell nobody that, because if they do, it's gonna deflate them. They not gonna do that. They're not gonna tell you, so they can get a defective model that just plain don't work, and they won't tell you. They ain't gonna get it taken care of, but they're not gonna be like, "Man, my Rolex ain't working." That's the difference. That's why you probably never heard of somebody saying their Rolex don't work. It's not that Rolex never had issues. It's that the people that own them ain't willing to admit that you know they got a bad model. They're not gonna tell you that because it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. And that's the only way I can describe it. It is a severe ego issue. They not gonna tell you because they done pumped it up so much that they want everybody to think it's this perfect company. So that now that if they see it's not, they're not gonna be like, "Oh man, my stuff ain't working. It ain't work. I thought it was gonna work. It ain't working." They're not gonna do that because they don't want you to. They don't want nobody to call them out and call the bluff and let them and call them on the bull crap. They don't want nobody to do that. They don't want nobody to do that. So they gonna make it always seem like they stuff just perfect, perfect, perfect. It's made by it's man made, man. Nothing's perfect. Everything is gonna come out. You can spend $1 million on a watch. That don't mean that it can't have a defect in it. Now, what that might come with might be that they might have a better customer service. Because I've heard some people say Invicta's customer service is crap. So, okay, Invicta and them, they customer service ain't that good. Rolex might have better customer service because it's a better watch. I'm gonna say better watch, but it's a more expensive watch. So they may have a better customer service. That's all. That's it to it. That's all to it. It's probably easier to get it fixed than to get this one fixed. Not only that, you know, this is I don't know why people are putting on them, because you have to send this back to Invicta to get this fixed. You have to send a Rolex back to Rolex to get it fixed. So what's the difference? You have to do the same thing for both. Their customer service is just better than Invicta's. Plain and simple. But, I'm going to get up out of here. I've been rambling long enough, and I went past, talking about the watch. But let me know if there's anything else y'all want to see. I don't believe I did a video on my, I don't believe I did a video on the Venom. I have to check. But I don't think I did. If I did, it was probably up. But that's the rally. Look at it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Let y'all go and get back to y'all daily lives. Peace.